What is up, guys? It's Sky, and I'm back on PS4. I was actually able to network my PS4 to my PC and access the internet through my PC's Wi-Fi, and actually reduced my lag tremendously. And I was doing some research online, and it turns out that the PS4's Wi-Fi chip is actually really weak. So if you guys got your PS4 hooked up through Wi-Fi and having the same issue, I'll actually make a video on how I did that later this week. Hopefully help you guys out. And it seems like DICE applied the hotfix this morning, because when I jumped on, the Sabotage mode was coming up a lot more, and I was getting a lot less of the Cloud City map. And the gameplay you're seeing is a round of Sabotage where I'm playing as the rebels on the map Administrator's Palace. I actually ended up going 29-3 and got MVP, but I'm not sure what my real KD was. Ever since DICE made assists show up as kills on the scoreboard, it's been kind of confusing, but still a good round nonetheless. And here's why I pretty much always run Personal Shield nowadays. Still going strong. I actually unlocked the EE4 just the other day, and I'm not using it on this map, but I gotta say that it's well suited for Sabotage because it has kind of a lot of spread, and you end up getting a lot of collaterals on people bunched up like in doorways and stuff. But in this gameplay, I'm running the E11 because this map kind of has all kinds of ranges, and the E11 does pretty good. It doesn't quite beat the EE4 in close quarters, but it can do a lot better at long ranges. And you see me getting in on a nice little flank route here. And that seems to be one of the keys to playing on these maps. It seems like those firefights take place in those rooms with like 4 entry points. And a lot of times people just bunch up in the front. But I'm starting to see a lot more people that are taking those little side entrances and sneaking up on and mowing down whole squads of enemies. And you see me running the trusty cycler rifle. With the high player count, having that guaranteed one-hit kill is really a boon. If you're facing up 2v1s and 3v1s, it's really nice to be able to one-shot kill at least one of them. And I'm also trying out Survivalist ever since they nerfed Berserker, and I'm really glad they did. People are having to try out other trait cards as I shoot this guy in the butt just for fun. And you guys know how much I love Bodyguard, but it seems like people aren't really using explosives like they used to. I like at launch, and there's been a lot of great star cards introduced since then. That Bodyguard's not very useful anymore. Unless you get to that 3rd level, then it's still money. It's a shame that you can't change your trait card in the middle of a round. I think that's something that DICE should implement. I think the best trait cards in the game right now are Bodyguard, Survivalist, and Scout. But Scout kind of has limited utility in these big modes because you'll be sneaking around by yourself all stealthy, but then you'll run into a group with like 5 enemies. And you'll lose all that work you did leveling up your trait card. But yeah, Survivalist is kind of fun. With that level 3, you actually get 50% of your health back after you get a kill. So you can face up potentially 2 people, 3 people, and still win that gunfight. But in these big objective modes, I find that I can't stay up all the time. So I guess it really doesn't matter what trait card I run. And you'll notice in the gameplay, I switched to my barrage loadout. And that's what I do. I keep 2 hands for Sabotage. The first hand is probably it's going to be like a default hand or a cycler rifle hand. A lot of times I don't run the jetpack because you don't need it in most of these maps. Maybe Bionet Laboratories in Cloud City, I'll run a jetpack. But when it gets down to that last generator, you might as well just consider it the second phase because it pretty much plays out like the second phase, and I'll switch to my barrage loadout right away. And I love this loadout because ever since the last patch, you can stand near your partner and your cooldowns come back twice as fast. And that was the only drawback with the barrage, is that long cooldown. Barrage is pretty much money on all Sabotage maps, except for maybe Cloud City. But back to the gameplay, and this one was a nail-biter all the way to the end. The Rebel heroes didn't really stay up, and we were faced with 4 Imperial heroes. And we should have been goners right there, but they kind of rushed in without their teammates, and you see me burn down Dengar here without even overheating my E11. And in the end, that's their downfall. But I think some of their teammates were just kind of camping in the back of the map. And at the end of the day, this is a team game. My teammates were doing a great job pushing the objective, staying up, and they just weren't. And they had every opportunity to win this game, but you'll see in the end, they get so close, but we're able to push them out. And this is a great tactic here. Fire a barrage into a doorway, bubble up, and get out of there. A lot of times when you're facing down 2 or 3 people down to a choke point, you're going to need that shield to stay up. And here I go into a side door where this guy's not even watching. And these Sabotage maps emphasize something that's not really emphasized in other modes and maps in Battlefront, and that's room clearing. For me, once I make it safely into a room, I'll just try to put my back to a wall, like in a corner. That way I only need to check off 90 degrees. And you see here the perfect moment to use a barrage. Pretty much put a dagger in any hopes that the Imperials have of winning this game. And that's the best play with a barrage. Fire it at a doorway, fire it at a choke point. Don't fire it out in the open because it's not what it used to be at launch. If any of you guys remember, at launch, the barrage had almost no fuse time. It was really annoying. And check out this long shot with the E11. Now, that's something you can't do with the E4. Anyways guys, this game of Sabotage is about to come to an end. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, and I'll catch you later.